Hey guys, so if you are on the podcast, I wanted to let you know that there is an exclusive YouTube video with Amanda and me with a trunk show.
Trunk show.
With all of her quilts. So if you're on the podcast, I want to invite you to youtube.com/Carina Gardner, and I will make sure and put links in there for Amanda, all of her things like Instagram, and do you have a YouTube channel? No. Okay,
but her blog. This is crazy, but Carina's really good at it.
Well, okay, so blog, anyway, so that you guys can find her stuff, but we'll do a trunk show showing all of her fabulous things. This is her Halloween quilt, so if you are on YouTube and you are seeing this, you guys, it's going to be such a good trunk show. So we're going to release it end of July, so make sure and check that out.
Welcome to the Make and Design Podcast. I'm your host, Carina Gardner. On this podcast, we're unraveling the everyday joys and dilemmas of design, making, and business. For makers who want to be designers and for designers who are makers, this is your inside scoop to help you grow your business and bring more creativity to your life.
Hey guys, today I am here with Amanda again. Okay, if you're on YouTube, she's going to hold up her book for us. Okay, tell us the name of it.
Okay, this is Playful Precut Quilts. It's by C&T Publishing. And
when did it come out?
It came out last summer, so it's not quite a year old.
So like
2020.
Yeah. I had to think about that for a second.
Yeah,
what was last year?
Some good did come out of that year. Oh, look.
It was Amanda's book.
Of course it came out 2020.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So we're going to talk about her book today. And for anyone who has ever been interested in writing a book that is not like, ooh, I'm just typing out a book. Like, because that's a really different book than
a how-to.
And a how-to book. These how-to books require so much effort. I remember, you guys, like Joel Dewberry pulled me aside and said, never write a book.
It's not for the faint of heart.
It is not. So Amanda's going to talk us through the process. So if it's something you do want to do, because it is great marketing, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty good marketing. There's some money involved.
Yeah, You don't do it to make money.
But there is
do it because you're bored. Because it's a pandemic, and what else are you going to do? Let's read a book.
Okay, so, but, I mean, you loved doing it, right?
Yeah, so let me tell you about the premise of the book first. I had submitted several manuscript ideas and have been rejected. That's part of the book writing. You have to be able to handle rejection, which apparently I can. And so this concept just came to me. It uses all pre-cuts, which quilters love. And every quilt in this book uses a 12-inch block. And I love the idea of giving you some creative ownership in your quilt, in that you could take a quilt setting with a certain sashing or how the blocks are set, and you could interchange the block. If there's a cat quilt, of course, in here, and if you didn't want a cat block in your quilt, you could just swap it out for any one of these.
If you guys missed our first episode, we talked about cats a lot.
And I'm fine to just do a whole episode on cats. So stay tuned, that might be coming.
You're welcome, you guys. Okay, so tell us more about, like, how long did it take you to write this book?
So when you are going to publish a book, the publisher wants a complete proposal, which isn't just like, hey, I have this idea, I want to write a book with quilt blocks, and isn't that a great idea? They're not going to accept that. You have to have table of contents. You have to have every quilt sketched out and drawn how you want it. It's not just an idea and then off you go after they accept it. They want to see the whole package deal. So I wrote all the patterns in here, designed them on my, I use electric quilt, so I kind of designed them. I wrote something about each of them and a proposal, and that's what the company C&T, that's what they review. And they look at your Instagram profile and how many people you can reach and your experience. It's quite a lot to even just get that far. So
how long did it take you to put together the proposal?
It probably was a work in progress, but a few months.
Okay.
Sometimes when you're in the zone of designing, ideas start flowing, and I kind of knew this like 12-inch block, which helps you because you're not trying to design quilts with 6-inch blocks or 9-inch blocks. It kind of keeps the design a little
bit tighter.
Yeah, which was fun.
Okay, so did everything that was in your proposal end up in the book?
It did.
Okay.
How color scheme and maybe a few tweaks, but for the most part, it all ended up in the book.
Okay, so when you go to them with the proposal, and this is like not your first proposal, right?
Right.
This is like, you've already done this a few times.
Right, and it was, to be fair to C&T, I had proposed something to a different publisher a few years ago, not the same concept. Different concepts, and it wasn't a great proposal. So after going through that process, I just felt like I'm going to go with C&T. I'm going to just send them this new idea. I'm going to start fresh. They don't really know me, and they sent me a contract. And then from the time I got the contract that was in January, February, all the quilts were due in July.
Like made quilts?
Yes, finished, dropped off to their office. That's February, March, April, May, June, July.
So how many
That was 5
quilts?
months. That's there's 15 total projects, 13 I think full quilts in here. So I was doing a quilt a week.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And crazy.
It's crazy.
And crazy!
I think, and that was just our timetable because I wanted to, it's a long turnaround because it's a whole year, over a year before the book
So
even
you were
comes
doing
out.
this in 2019?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So all of this is happening in 2019.
Right.
And then once you hand over the quilts, I should ask this. So in your proposal, were you giving them yardage and cutting? And
No, I didn't have to do the measurements, just a ballpark of what kind of fat quarters I might use, a fabric inspiration, where I want to take this. This is a Christmas quilt. This is I'm picturing reds and blues.
Got it. And so then by the time you took them the quilts, I'm assuming you had all the yardage and the cuts.
Right.
And
And
that.
then you have to write the pattern and you have to create all the illustrations.
Okay.
I designed those. They don't use those ones, but they use that for
their graphic designer
Yes.
in-house.
So
that
they
take care
know
of
what
it.
I want it to be, how I want to demonstrate these half square triangles.
Okay, tell me about the process of, for fabric, we check strike-offs, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do they do for a book?
So for the book, there's a lot of back and forth, and you have different layers of production. So you work with a lot of different editors for different reasons, which is fun. You get to meet a lot of people. So there's the content, and there's the graphics, and then there's the layout, a lot of things they go back and forth on. So.
Okay, and is that process easy, hard?
It's, I don't know that easy or hard is the right word. I would just say,
Time consuming?
yeah, time consuming, and this is a big deal, so it's important.
You're trying to get it right.
Right. But they were so great to work with. I loved my experience with C&T. They were just amazing.
And did they photograph all the quilts for you?
They did, yes.
So they made sure it was super professional.
And so I kind of created a mood board on Pinterest to be like, this is what I love. I love this kind of photo. I do love outdoor photos, and most of these
Which I love on
are
the front
outdoor.
of your book.
I know. I love the
I know if
cover.
you're not on the podcast, come over and check it out. Sorry, I just hit Amanda. Come check it out on makeanddesign.com, and you can see the actual
this
YouTube
one
video.
is on a barn. So I feel like they really captured me. The back, it's outdoor on
It's
a
like
gazebo.
outdoorsy and sweet. There's a sweetness though.
Yeah.
I think to the pictures, and even the fabrics that you chose, there's a certain amount of sweetness to the whole thing, which is really nice.
Oh, thank you. And I just love, my goal was to create a book that you guys could use, and it wasn't like, well, I like that one pattern, and now I have to buy the whole book. I wanted it to be, yes, you can make this, or you can mix and match and turn it into a chain, or turn it into, you could throw some hearts in there, and you can customize it. Also, there is a pattern for a 1-block quilt, which is super fun because you could take 1 block and you can turn it into a wall hanging. You can do a table runner, which I use Carina's fabric
Oh my
for.
gosh, I just looked at that. I was like, oh my gosh, that's Posy Garden.
Yes, I love Posy Garden. So
Hey,
there's-
let's get an up close of that.
Okay.
Come on, guys.
So there's
some Posy Garden, and I didn't even. She flipped it, and I
I
went,
know, you're like,
wait,
"That's
that looks like
mine."
mine.
Yes, here's the style shot. So you can do 3 blocks and have a table runner, or this is like a 4-block little wall hanging. So I just
good.
really wanted a useful book because I've bought a lot of quilt books.
I have
and there's-
too.
They're fun to look at, but I hardly ever make anything. So.
And I tend to have a bad habit of making only one thing from
Yeah.
a book.
So I hope if you buy it,
collecting the books.
that you make more than one and that you have fun.
There are enough things in this. I was just going to say, okay, if you're on the podcast, I once again apologize. But, this is a great block. What is this block called?
That's Colonial
The Colonial
Flowers.
Flower block. She has a lot of the blocks that, you kind of feel like I could use this over and over and over again for a number of different things. Anyway, it's such a good book. Can they still get the book?
Yes, the book is still available. Amazon or a lot of quilt shops are carrying it.
Okay.
So Playful Precut Quilts.
And where can they find you, Amanda?
You can find me, the easiest place is Instagram at Jedi Craft Girl. And then from there you can link to my blog or Etsy shop or wherever.
At Jedi Craft Girl. That's how I always remember Amanda. Anyway, sometimes I'll be like, I'm going to look up Amanda. And then I'm like, wait, no.
That's not her name.
That's not. It's Jedi Craft Girl, which is such a fun name. Kate, thanks for coming on, Amanda.
Yeah, this was super fun.
Amanda's going to come on next month as well, and we are going to talk about design, you guys. So get ready for it. It's going to be awesome. See you guys later.
Bye.
Hey, did you know that you can visit me at makeanddesign.com to learn more about this podcast and join my VIP group for weekly freebies? I can't wait to see you there.